Hello students. So in my previous video I have explained to you about normal distribution and introduction, few formulas, mean, standard deviation, all that we have studied in a previous video, and also have solved one of the problem related to it. So in this video I'll be solving few more problems related to normal distribution. Okay, so before starting up with the problem, let us know a few formulas which is implemented in each and every problem related to normal distribution. So first of all, I told you that in a previous video that standard normal distribution formula is extremely important. Okay, you have to remember that to solve the problem. So for standardizing a normal random variable, we use z is equal to x minus mu by sigma, where mu is mean and sigma is the standard deviation. Okay, so to find the standard for standardizing a normal random variable, we use this formula. Okay, mu is mean and sigma is the standard deviation. Also, you have to remember these results. What I've taught you in a previous video. We'll just recall it once again. P of z greater than or equal to minus infinity less than or equal to infinity. That is probability of z from minus infinity to plus infinity is equal to 1. Next, probability of z from minus infinity to 0, half of the region or half of the area, sorry. Probability of z from minus infinity to 0 is 1 by 2, or it is also equal to 0.5. Another half, that is from 0 to infinity. Probability of z from 0 to plus infinity is also equal to 1 by 2 or 0.5. Next, probability of z less than z1 is equal to 0.5 plus phi of z1. So probability of z greater than z1 is equal to probability of z greater than or equal to 0 minus probability of z less than or greater than or equal to 0 less than z2. Probability of z greater than or equal to 0 is equal to 0.5 minus phi of z2. So these results you have to remember. We'll be implementing these results while solving the problem under normal distribution. So let me consider a first one. If x is normally distributed with mean 12 and standard deviation 4. So what is given in the question? X is normally distributed. Alright. With mean 12 and standard deviation 4. So mu is equal to 12 and standard deviation is sigma. So sigma equal to 4. What we need to find? We need to find P of x greater than or equal to 20 and P of x less than or equal to 20. So first of all, let us write what is the standard normal distribution formula. Probability density is given by z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So what is the mu? Mu is 12. What is sigma? Sigma is 4. So that is the z. Okay. So what is the so for x is equal to 20, what is given here? First condition, P of x greater than or equal to 20. So for x is equal to 20, we have to find what is the z. Okay, we have to find what is the z, because I've already told you that in this that you have to convert a random variable into a standard normal distribution, right? So now what we have to do here is we have to substitute x is equal to 20 and find what is z is equal to. So what you get z is equal to when you substitute x is equal to 20, you get z is equal to x is 20, 20 minus 12 is how much? 20 minus 12 is 8, 8 divided by 4 is 2. So you get we get P of z greater than or equal to 20. We get P of z for x is equal to 20, you get z is equal to 2. So just replace P of z greater than or equal to 2. Okay. And for the second one it is P of z less than or equal to 2. For the first one it is P of z greater than or equal to 2. For the second one, it is P of z less than or equal to 2. Now, let me apply the first condition. Okay, we know that from one of the results, if you have P of z greater than z2, then what is that equal to? How do you write it from one of the results? If P of z is greater than z2, then that is equal to P of z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of z greater than or equal to 0 less than or equal to z2. This is the property. If you have P If we have P of Z greater than Z2, then that is equal to P of Z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of Z greater than or equal to 0 less than a Z2. So now what you have here, P of Z greater than or equal to 2, right? So how do you write it? In the place of Z2 you have 2. So using this property, how do you write it now? P of Z greater than or equal to 2 is equal to P of Z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of Z greater than or equal to 0 less than or equal to 2. Okay, so P of Z greater than or equal to 0 means what? It is also equal to 0.5. Okay, 0 to infinity, which is also equal to 1 by 2, or it is equal to 0.5. This is from the result. Minus P of Z greater than or equal to 0 less than or equal to Z2 is also equal to phi of Z2. This is also equal to phi of Z2. Now in the place of Z2 you have what? You have a 2. So this is also equal to phi of 2. Now use a normal distribution table and find what is the value of phi of 2. So it is 2.0. Directly you have to find what is the value of 2.0. Okay. So value of phi of 2 is 0.4772. So subtract 0.5 with the 0.4772. So you get 0.0228. For the second one it is P of Z less than or equal to 2. Okay. So P of Z less than or equal to 2 means what? How do you split it? Less than or equal to 2 means it is up to minus infinity, right? P of Z less than or equal to 2 means it is up to minus infinity. So you have to split this as minus infinity to 0 plus 0 to 2. Okay, how we split the integral? In a similar way, we have to split the probability of Z also. So probability of Z less than or equal to 2 is equal to less than or equal to 2 means I'll explain once again. It is up to minus infinity to 2. So how do we split from minus infinity to 2? That is minus infinity to 0, half of the area towards your left hand side. Up to 2 it is, so plus 0 to 2. So minus infinity to 0 means what? It is also equal to 0.5, or P of Z less than or equal to 0 is also equal to 0.5, or P of Z greater than or equal to minus infinity less than or equal to 0 is also equal to 0.5, plus P of Z greater than or equal to 0 less than or equal to 2 is also equal to phi of 2. If you have P of Z greater than or equal to Z1 less than or equal to Z2, then that is also equal to phi of Z2. Now in the place of Z2, what you have? You have 2, right? So this is equal to phi of 2. So phi of 2 we have already found in a previous sub question. So similar thing you have to substitute here. So phi of 2 will be equal to 0.4772. Add the two values, so that will sum up to 0.9772. Now we'll move on to the next question. The marks of 1000 students in an examination follows a normal distribution with mean 70 and standard deviation 5. So what is given in the question here? The marks of 1000 students is being given in an examination. Okay, it follows a normal distribution with mean 70 and standard deviation 5, which means that mu is equal to 70 and sigma is equal to 5 is being given. Find the number of students whose marks will be less than 65. That is P of x less than 65. More than 75 means the P of x greater than 75. Between 65 and 75 means P of x greater than 65 but less than 75. So first of all, let x represent the marks of the student. Okay, let x represent the marks of the student, and finally for each answer you have to multiply with 1000. For 1000 students, what is the marks you have to calculate? Okay, number of students who have scored the marks who are less than 65, more than 75, and between 65 and 75 is what you have to calculate. Alright, so first of all, let x represent the marks of the student. So whatever is given in the data, that is what we have to write next. That is, mean has been given to you. Mean mu is equal to 70 and standard deviation has been given. And standard deviation is denoted by sigma. So sigma is equal to 5. So write the standard normal probability density formula, that is Z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So what is mu? Mu is the 70 and sigma is equal to 5. So next we have to calculate for P of x less than 65. So for x is equal to 65, we have to calculate the z. What is the z? So for x is equal to 65, z is equal to 65 minus 70 is minus 5. Minus 5 divided by 5 is minus 1. So for x is equal to 65, z is equal to minus 1. Okay. So for P of z less than 1, we need to find. Okay. So P of z less than 1 means, how do you write it? You don't have any negative value here in a probability table. So we have to replace it into a positive value. So P of z less than minus 1 is also equal to P of z greater than 1. Alright. P of z less than minus 1 is also equal to P of z greater than 1. So again apply the property z greater than z2. Now in the place of z2 what you have? You have 1. So that is equal to P of z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of z greater than or equal to 0 less than or equal to 1. Okay. Just replace where and all you have z2. Compare this z greater than 1 with this result, one of the result, and where and all you have z2, just replace it as 1. So P of z greater than 1 will be P of z greater than or equal to 0, which is 0.5, minus P of z greater than 0 less than 1. Greater than 0 less than 1 means this is also here greater than 0 less than z2 means it is also equal to phi of z2. Here greater than 0 less than 1 means it is also equal to phi of 1. Now find what is the value of phi of 1. You have just phi of 1. So the first value of 1.0 is the phi of 1 value. So that is 0.3413. Substitute here. Phi of 1 is 0.3413. Subtract it with the 0.5. So that gives you the final answer. Next what we have to do is, this is for x number of students. Okay, x represents the marks of the students. Okay, we have to calculate the marks of 1000 students. Okay, this is of one student. We have to calculate x students, so we have to calculate it for 1000 students. So what we have to do is, we have to multiply this with the 1000. So number of students scoring less than 65 marks is 1000 into 0.1587, your answer equal to 159. So we'll move on to the next sub question now. For x is equal to 75. What is the next sub question? Actually, it's more than 75. So for x is equal to 75, we need to calculate z. So what is z? Z is equal to 75 minus 70 divided by 5. 75 minus 70 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So for x is equal to 75, you get z is equal to 1. So we have to calculate P of z more than 75. So for more than 1. For x is equal to x more than 75. Okay, probability, yeah. More than 75, you get z equal to 1. So P of z greater than 1. So what is P of z greater than 1? Again from property, P of z greater than 1 is equal to, similar to the previous one, copy the same thing. P of z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of z greater than 0 less than 1, which is equal to phi of 1. So 0.5 minus 0.3413, it is exactly similar to the previous answer, 159. So we'll move on to the third sub question. We have to find 65 less between 65 and 70. So for x is equal to 65, you get z is equal to minus 1. For x is equal to 75, you get z is equal to 70 or 75 is it? It is 75. Sorry, for x is equal to 75, you get z is equal to 1. So you have to calculate z between minus 1 to 1. So z greater than minus 1 to 1 is, here minus 1 you don't have the value of minus 1 in your normal distribution table. So we have to replace this as plus 1. So how do we replace this as plus 1? P of z greater than minus 1 less than 0 is also equal to P of z greater than 0 less than 1. Already you have a P of z greater than 0 less than 1 here. Whenever you have minus 1 to plus 1, it is written as 2 times of P of z greater than 0 less than 1. If you have z greater than minus 2 to 2, minus 3 to 3, minus 4 to 4, then it is always written as P of 2 times of P of z greater than 0 less than whatever z1 and z2 value, z2 value is given to you, or z value is given to you. So this is equal to 2 times of, so for what is z2 here? Z2 is a phi of 1. So this is equal to 2 into phi of 1. You already know what is the value of phi of 1. Multiply it with the 2. Whatever answer you obtain, that you have to multiply it with 1000 to find the number of students scoring marks between 65 and 75. Next one, in the test on electric bulb, it was found that the lifetime of a particular brand was distributed normally with an average life of 2000 hours. Okay, so average means I've already told you in my previous videos that average is always the mean. So mean is equal to 2000 hours and standard deviation of 60 hours. So what is being given here? Standard deviation means it is sigma. So sigma is equal to 60 hours. If a firm purchases 2500 bulb, find the number of bulbs that are likely to last for more than P or 2100 hours. So P of x greater than 2100 hours. Next to P of x less than 1950 hours and P of x greater than 1900 less than 2100 hours we have to calculate. So first of all, number of bulbs that are, let x be the number of bulb. Okay, you have to calculate for 2500 bulb. Okay, so by the data what and all is being given, average is being given, average is also equal to mean. So mu is equal to 2000 and standard deviation is also equal to sigma and sigma is equal to 60 is being given. So what is z? Z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So now we have to find for x is equal to 2100, we have to calculate what is the z. So for x is equal to 2100, z is equal to 100 divided by 60, which is equal to 1.67. Just to substitute here, x is equal to 2100. So 2100 minus 2000 is 100. 100 divided by 60 is 1.67. So we have to calculate more than 2100 hours. So for 2100, you get z is equal to 1.67. So p of x greater than 1.67. Apply the property even here. So greater than 1.67 is written as P of z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of z greater than 0 less than 1.67. P of z greater than or equal to 0 means it is also equal to 0.5. So 0.5 minus phi of z2. What is z2 here? 1.67. So find what is 1.67 using your table. Okay. So we already have a table in my previous one. Okay, please go through that and find what is 1.67. Alright, so you get 1.6 plus the 0.07 you have to check with. So you get 0.4525, subtracted with 0.5, you get 0.0475. Next one is therefore the number of bulbs that is likely to last more than 2100 hours is 2500 into the answer whatever you have obtained. So each answer you have to multiply it with the 2500. So we'll move on to the second sub question. P of x less than 1950 hours. So for x is equal to 1950, you have to calculate the z. So 1950 minus 2000 divided by 60. So that is minus 5 divided by 6, which is equal to minus 0.83. So for P of z less than minus 0.83, remember we don't have a negative value in a normal distribution table. So we have to write this in a positive way. So it's a mirror image. Negative of 0.83 is also equal to P of z greater than 0.83. Use the property once again. P of z greater than 0.83 is equal to, result is equal to P of z greater than or equal to 0 minus P of z greater than 0 less than 0.83. So greater than or equal to 0 is 0.5 minus greater than 0 less than 0.83 is phi of 0.83. So find for 0.8 plus 0.03 in your normal distribution table. So that gives you 0.2967, which is equal to 0.2033. Last one is, it's given, it's pasted here. So 0.8 is here. Okay, 0.83 you want. So move this straight up to 0.03. So this is 0.83, which is 0.2967. Now we'll move on to the third one. With this you have to multiply it with the 2500 to obtain the final answer. Third sub question, to find P of x greater than 1900 less than 2100. So for x is equal to 1900, z is equal to minus 1.67. For x is equal to 2100, z is equal to 1.67. So z lies between, z is between minus 1.67 to plus 1.67. So whenever you have this, you have to write it as 2 times of P of z greater than 0 less than 1.67. So P of z greater than 0 less than 1.67 is also equal to 2 into phi of 1.67. Okay, it is also equal to 2 into 5 of 1.67. So in previously I have pasted a normal distribution table here. So how much is 1.67? This is 1.6. Move straight up to 0.07 and stop up to there. So this is the 1.67 value, which is the 0.4525. 0.4525. So 2 into 0.4525 is 0.905. So multiply it with 2500 to calculate the number of bulbs that are likely between 1900 to 2100, which is equal to 2263. We'll move on to the next one now. In the normal distribution, 31% of the items are under 45. Okay. In the normal distribution, understand the question carefully. 31% of the items are under 45, which means it is less than 45. P of x less than 45 are 31%, and 8% of items are over 64. Over means more than. So P of x greater than 64 is equal to 8%. So what we need to calculate here, we have to find the mean and the standard deviation. Okay, we have to calculate the mean and the standard deviation. So first of all, let me denote, let mu and sigma be the mean and standard deviation of the normal distribution. So I have to find what is mu and the sigma. So let us write whatever is given in the question. So in a normal distribution, 31% of the items are under 45, which means P of x less than 45 is equal to 31%. So 31%, how do you calculate? 31 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.31. Similarly, what else has been given here? 8% of the items are over 64. Okay, 8% of the items are over 64, which means that P of x greater than 64 is equal to 8%. 8% is also equal to 8 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.08. Okay, so using these two conditions, we have to find the mean and the standard deviation. So what is z? We know that z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. Okay, mu is z is equal to x minus mu by sigma. So for x is equal to 45, what is z? For x is equal to 45, z is equal to 45 minus mu by sigma. So let me consider this as z1. So let this be equal to z1. Next, for x is equal to 64, what is the z? For x is equal to 64, z is equal to 64 minus mu by sigma. So let me consider this as z2. So I know what is z1 and I know what is the z2. So thus we have, for P of z less than z1, okay, what is z1? That entire term, you need not write that, you can just consider it as z1. So for P of z less than z1, it is equal to 0.31. What are you doing? For this you are replacing in terms of z. So for P of z less than z1, okay, we don't know what is the z value here, because since we don't know what is mu and sigma. So for P of z less than z1, it is equal to 0.31, and for P of z greater than z1, it is equal to 0.08. That is what it's been written here. So P of z less than z1 means what? How do you write it as? It is 0.5 plus the phi of z1. Okay, P of z less than z1 means it is equal to 0.5 plus phi of z1. Use the conditions or use the result. When you have P of z less than z1, from the result, okay, from one of the results, P of z less than z1 if you have, then that is equal to what? That is equal to 0.5 plus phi of z1. If you have z greater than z2, then it is 0.5 minus phi of z2. Just remember these two conditions. So 0.5 plus phi of z1 is equal to 0.31. I need to find what is the z1 now. So phi of z1 is equal to, take plus 0.5 to the other side, that will be minus 0.5. So subtract 0.31 with the minus 0.5. Got it? You have P of z less than z1, which is equal to 0.5 plus phi of z1. I need to find what is the value of z1. Using that, I can cross multiply and find what is mean and the standard deviation, solving the two equations. So phi of z1 is equal to, take this plus the 0.5 to the other side, that will be minus 0.5. So phi of z1 is equal to 0.31 minus the 0.5. So 0.31 minus 0.5 is minus 0.01. Similarly, P of z greater than z2 means it is equal to 0.5 minus phi of z2. P of z greater than z2 means it is equal to 0.5 minus phi of z2. So this is equal to 0.08. Take plus 0.5 to the other side, that will be minus 0.5. Or take a minus 5 of Z2 to the other side and bring a plus 0.08 to the left hand side. You get 0.5 minus 0.08. So 0.5 minus 0.08 is 0.42. So that is phi of Z2. So from phi of Z1 and phi of Z2, we have to find what is Z1 and we have to find what is Z2. For Z1, we have to find for what value of Z1 you get phi of 0.13 we need to calculate. Okay. So we'll check this table now. This is ulta process now. Previously what we used to calculate for phi of 0.1, whatever value you had, for example phi of 2, phi of 3, for phi of Z1 and Z2 we used to calculate, use the normal distribution table and we used to find. Now it is a ulta process. For what value of phi of 0.19 we have to calculate Z1. Phi inverse of 0.19 we have to calculate Z1. So search here what is the 0.1 here. Okay, what value, which value has the 0.19? So 0.19 is for 0.5, right? It begins with the 0.19, then the next value is 0.50. The least value you have to write here because you have a 0.19, right? So 0.19 is for the Z is equal to 0.5. So for what value of Z1 we have to calculate, you get a phi of 0.19. Negative value is also equal to positive because it's a mirror image. So for phi of 0.5 you get 0.19, okay, which is 0.1915, which is approximately equal to 0.19. Similarly, for what value of Z2 you get 0.42 we have to calculate. So search for 0.42 here. So you get 0.42 for 1.42. Okay, you get for 1.42 you get 1.4 we can consider, or else 0.4207. Okay, or you can consider even this also 4192. 4192 is approximately equal to what? 0.42, right? So for what value of Z2 you get 0.42 we have to calculate. This is ulta process. Okay, so that is 1.4. This value you have to search here. Okay, this value equal to whatever value you have towards your right hand side, that value you have to search here, and in front what value of Z is 0.19 and 0.42 you have to find. So what is Z1 now? Z1 is 0.5 and what is Z2? Z2 is 1.4. So substitute phi of Z1 is equal to minus phi of 0.5 and phi of Z2 is equal to phi of 1.4. So you get Z1 is equal to minus 0.5 and Z2 is equal to 1.4. Why minus 0.5? Because you have a minus 1.9 there. Sorry, you have minus 0.19. So this will be minus phi of 0.5. Here also this will be minus phi of 0.5. So Z1 is equal to minus 0.5 and Z2 is equal to 1.4. So substitute this, 45 minus mu by sigma equal to minus 0.5 and 64 minus mu by sigma is equal to 1.4. Cross multiply. When you cross multiply, you get rearrange after cross multiplying. Sigma into minus 0.5 is minus 0.5 into sigma. Then mu minus, take this minus mu to the other side, it will be plus mu. So you get plus mu minus 0.5 into sigma is equal to 45. Similarly, take this sigma to the RHS, you get 1.4 into sigma. Take this minus mu to the other side, that will be plus mu. So you get mu plus 1.4 sigma is equal to 64. To solve these two equations, we have to calculate the mean and standard deviation, that is mu and sigma. So when you solve this two equation using calculated simultaneously, you get mu is equal to 50 and sigma is equal to 10. So what is mu? Mu is the mean. So mean is equal to 50 and standard deviation equal to 10. Thank you.